Hey, what's up? I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching The Sit Down. Danny A. Abeckaser is here. The Irishman is here. This is a big one, man. How are you?
Very good. Nice meeting you. Yes, this is a big one.
One of the biggest ones in a long time, and you get to be a part of it. So how awesome is this for you? I mean, like, you've done a bunch of mob movies before, but, like, working with De Niro, working with Pacino, working with Scorsese.
Yeah.
Can't forget him. I mean, what were some of the most amazing parts of this for you?
Just being on set was just surreal for me. I mean, look, I'm a New York actor. I've always wanted to work on a Scorsese mob movie, and I didn't think I was going to get a chance because at some point I figured, you know, once he did Goodfellas and Casino, it was over.
Right.
And once I heard about this, I wanted to be in it so bad, and I wanted to audition. And when I got the audition, I was so excited. And when I got the role, I was so excited. But it's a dream come true. I mean, you can ask any New York actor, I mean, any actor in general, to work with Scorsese, especially with De Niro and these guys. It's a dream come true.
You've directed before. When you watched Scorsese doing his thing, what did you pick up that you were like, wow, this is pretty interesting the way he rolls here?
Wow, that's a great question. The thing is, he just he puts you in the place. He basically just explains to you who your character is and where he's coming from and what's happening in the scene. And then he just lets you do your thing. A lot of, improv is big with him, and he just makes you feel comfortable. That is the most important thing that I learned, and the most valuable thing is to make the actors feel comfortable, and they'll give you the best performance. Once because a lot of people are very technical, and he's not at all. It's very in the moment, really feel it, make it as real as possible, and I learned that.
And is it like a multiple shot thing? Is it a couple of shots? How does it usually roll?
Oh yeah, I mean it's covered by so many cameras. I think this is two cameras on this particular scene. Actually, there's three. There's also a wide on this. But honestly, you're so in the moment, you don't even realize where the cameras are. But he's known for the greatest shots ever. The one shots and all the panning and yeah, it's amazing.
So we were talking about this picture before we got going here.
Oh
I mean,
God.
You and De Niro in the car, like the fact that you're playing this role, like this doesn't even look like the guy I'm talking to right now. How did you nail the part, and what was it like interacting with De Niro?
It was incredible. So what happens here is, I play a guy named Louis the Deadbeat, meaning I owe money to the mob, and Bobby Cannavale's character, Skinny Razor, is basically Frank works for him. De Niro's character works for him and collects money for him, and he tells him, this guy's gonna go and tell you that his mom died and blah blah blah. Don't believe him. Take this gun. Don't use it, but go bring him. So over here, it's like basically they're just like, he shows up, I come around the corner, he gets out of the car, and then he puts me in the car and he drives me over to the bar where they beat the hell out of me. Being on set in the middle of the street in February 2 years ago, it was insane. But I didn't realize how insane it was until after I was done. And I was like thinking back of what a great experience. But we improvised so much, and we moved, and we changed things around. It was the best experience of my life. That's
awesome. So you mentioned the fact that you've seen all the great Scorsese films, De Niro's films. When you think of The Irishman, like what separates this one? And because the way people talk about it, it's like a whole different pantheon. Why do you think that is? So,
when you watch Goodfellas, you watch Casino, it's one period of time, could be a 3, 4, 5 year span, and then either they die or they go to jail.
Right.
Especially talking about, the reality is these guys are not good guys. They're bad people. So they either go to jail or they die, right? Here, in The Irishman, it goes and pans throughout their whole life, up until when they're very, very old. So you kind of stay with them, and you kind of start seeing the consequences of their actions and how their life kind of revolves on all these decisions they made, the relationships with their kids, the relationship with their friends and family. And that's what's interesting about it, is you really get to see them in their later years in life.
I gotcha.
And that's what separates it. I mean, it covers so many different aspects. The Jimmy, the Hoffa story. Frank Sheeran obviously confessed on his deathbed that he killed Jimmy Hoffa. And the book, I Heard You Paint Houses, which the script is based on. But that's what separates it. It's a little different. You kind of go from age 24 to 86, I think, with De Niro's
That's a big chunk.
Yeah.
What did you learn about the whole mob scene or just New York in general from this?
I mean, this is 1956. I love the car and the period. I made a movie, Mob Town, in 1957. We'll get to that. I mean, I just being there with the master of it all, you learn everything. The way the manner is. You know, one thing I really learned is you don't really act. You're not trying to put on any accent or any like tough guy. It just, because of the wardrobe and the world that you put in, it just automatically just feels that way. It's really natural.
That's awesome. So you mentioned Mobtown, which comes out in December.
December 13th, yeah.
So you're hanging out in 1957. Again,
Oh
what piques your interest about these people that are not good people on the surface and mob people, but they seem to pull you in when we look at these stories?
Well, I was so intrigued with this story. You know, it's a true story that happened in November 14, 1957, in a little town upstate called Abeckaser, where all the biggest mob heads met at this house. I just thought it was what piqued my interest was the fact that it was a small little town with a 3-person police force, and one state trooper like stumbles on this and he sees all these different people walking into his town, and that was what's interesting to me. It wasn't really just about the meeting itself. It was about this like cop that notices something strange is happening in this little town. Look, I mean, we all live, a regular life, and these guys just have like this exciting. I mean, it seems exciting in the movies, where they get to be play, cops and robbers, and we, got infatuated with that.
Yeah,
and
totally.
their mannerism and the way they talk and the food and the romance behind it. It's all great.
And it seems like you're infatuated with the whole New York thing as well. I mean, you could tell all these different stories, but they seem to have a New York bend to it. Why is it so important to you?
Well, I'm a New Yorker. I grew up in Brooklyn. Been in Manhattan basically my whole life. I just moved to LA. But my last movie that I directed, Blackjack, is the Jackie Ryan story. Is about a street basketball legend. I just love New York stories. I relate to them. I feel like they don't get an opportunity to be told anymore because of the studio system and all that stuff. Small independent films really get to tell those stories. And quoting my favorite director of all time is, you make movies about things in the world that and that's what I'm trying to do.
So you mentioned Jackie Ryan. What was it like putting that thing together?
It was amazing.
You're a basketball guy, so that was a huge deal, I bet.
Oh my God! I mean, this was the dream of all dreams. Because my favorite thing in the world is basketball, and my second favorite thing is movies. No, I met Jackie Ryan. I was like 16 years old in Brooklyn, where I grew up, playing in the park, and this guy shows up with a mullet and a mustache.
You're like, who the hell is this guy?
He's like 30, and he was incredible. And I was like, who is this guy? It was unbelievable. Years later, I'm in Chelsea Piers, and he's there, and he's telling people, oh, they just bought the rights to my life, and they're going to make this movie. Started talking to him, and I ended up making the movie.
Wow.
Greg Finley does such a great job at playing Jackie, and David Arquette is in it, and Brandon Lee is in it, and Michael Rappaport. Just exciting. I mean, Ashley Greene. We're really excited for that. That's probably going to be next summer.
Awesome.
Release, yeah.
So you mentioned the whole studio system now. Like, what's it like navigating that, getting stuff made, and also just cutting through with so many different places to make movies now?
So I think it's a great time for independent filmmakers. There's, people need content. There's so many outlets now, and they're all kind of like competing with each other, and they all want to have the best content. So it's a good time. I mean, the studios are really just doing like all the big, commercial stuff,
Right.
and independent filmmakers like myself are trying to tell stories that are never going to be told. It's hard because you need to cast names that you can sell. The foreign sales stuff is not as strong as it used to be.
Right.
But you still need to get some great names in it and convince great actors to go upstate New York for a month, but there's nothing to do, and really work. It's challenging, but I wouldn't change it for a thing. I love it.
And even for The Irishman, it's like, we're going to put it in theaters for a couple of weeks, and then boom, we're going to pop it on Netflix.
Yeah, like
with all these
3.5
guys.
weeks, right?
Yeah, which is like, all right, if you like going to the movies, cool, do your thing. If you want to watch it at home, great, go
By the
for
way,
it.
a lot of people have 80-inch screens. It's just like being in the movie.
Exactly.
Look, as long as people get to watch the movie,
That's
that
the
is the
biggest
most important thing. I personally think people should go to the theater and watch this movie. It's incredible. I mean, seeing it in the cinema is a different experience.
Yeah, it's a whole different level.
Are you gonna go?
I'm gonna go. I was telling Marissa over here that I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in the theaters. Hadn't been to the movie theaters in like 2 years.
Great. Did you like it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
But this is one of those movies, you know, there's a couple movies each year you're like, I gotta see this one in theaters. You know, it's like this one, I wanna see Joker, like Ford v Ferrari, like there's a couple coming out. Where I'm like, gotta make the time.
I really think that you should get some popcorn, a little Coke, and really enjoy it.
And kick back
go
for
to
like
the bathroom
3 hours,
first.
yeah. Definitely go
Make
to the
sure
bathroom
to go to the
first.
bathroom right before you watch it. It's 3 hours and 20 minutes or something, 3:19. It's great.
That's awesome.
Really exciting.
When you think about your career, how have you built things out, and what are some things you'd still like to do?
I just feel very fortunate that I actually get to make movies. As long as I can continue to make movies, I'm excited. This particular movie, I have a small role. It's just 2 scenes in the movie that actually Scorsese actually put them together, and they're just one continuous scene, a little bit bigger than what I would think. But just being in it is a dream come true. So. Small little movies, you make them, some people see them, some people don't. I'm happy with that. This one, a lot of people are gonna see, so that's exciting, and see what happens from here.
No doubt. You miss New York?
Yeah, a little bit. I miss my
LA?
family,
Yeah?
my mom, and the weather in LA, you can't beat it. A bunch of my friends live there.
I feel you. And you can't beat this movie either.
No, I'm excited.
That's awesome. Danny, appreciate
Nice
it, man.
meeting
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
The Irishman out today, a couple weeks on Netflix. For Danny, I'm DJ. See you next time here on The Sit Down.
Thank you.